is up, everybody? This is Gary from Killer Off-Road Hobbies, your host, and today we are doing a full review and my thoughts video on the Traxxas Summit 1/10 scale, it's called. So this is a 1/8 scale, four-wheel drive, do it all, I guess. This is definitely a monster truck. It is definitely a 1/8 scale, regardless of what Traxxas wants to call it. And this truck is very, very, very unique. So let's talk about it a little bit, what you get with it, what its purposes are, and then I will give you my thoughts part of it, where I tell you what I think of this vehicle and whether I would recommend it for you or not. So let's get into it. First off, this thing is pretty good at doing a little bit of everything. It's not super amazing at everything, but if you want to go out trail running, this thing will do that. If you want to go out and do some light, low speed bashing, this thing will do that. If you want to go out and do some nice rock crawling, this thing will do that as well. This thing is definitely, as far as RCs go, the best versed RC that I have ever driven to date. Like I said, it can do a little bit of everything. It doesn't do a little bit of everything awesomely, but it does do a little bit of everything up to par, good enough for my standards. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about what you get with the Traxxas Summit. First off, you get this super awesome, probably one of the coolest looking body shells that I have seen on an RC. This has been very rigid, durable, and it's a very nice touch that they put this exo cage on here to give this thing even more longevity than it would have without it, and I think it looks amazing. This is one of the coolest shells I have ever seen. You have this little winch on the front here. It's just a little graphic, but it kind of adds to the realism. It's got fender flares. I mean, this thing is awesome. Awesomeness. I like it a lot. Very durable. I haven't had to reinforce it at all because it is plenty reinforced itself. And I think the color scheme, along with the design of it and everything, the SUV style, I think they nailed it with this body. One of the coolest looking bodies I have seen on an RC. Now, coming to the truck, this truck does have selectable lockers, front and rear. You do have these side battery trays that are generous and take a good size LiPo pack, or you can run nickel metals in here. I did opt to get the battery-less version, so when I got this, it didn't come with two nickel metal hydride packs. It came with no batteries at all. You can get a version that does come with nickel metal hydride packs. This is a brushed system, but it is 4S capable. You have your EVX2 waterproof 4S capable ESC right here, and then you have this huge Titan 775 brushed motor that will probably last through an apocalypse. You do have 5 servos on this vehicle. You have your 2 steering servos, and then you have your servos for locking everything, and your first and second gear in your transmission. So this is a 2-speed unit. The low gear is very, very low. I think it's 70 to 1 low gear, and then it's 25 to 1 in second gear. And let me tell you right out of the gate that this thing does not feel slow. When you open up the diffs and shift it into second gear, this thing has good speed, especially for the size and the weight. This thing comes in at about 13 pounds without batteries. So it is a heavy RC, and it moves. It definitely surprised me when I put it in second gear and pulled the trigger, and this thing just took off. Especially for a brush unit. I have had brush trucks, smaller. I have had brushless trucks, smaller two-wheel drive that didn't have the speed that this thing has. So I think it just surprised me. I'll say that right now. Now, I found the servos to be, even though they're running two of them, with these big, meaty, sticky tires, I did find them to be a little lacking in torque strength. They will work for 99.9% of applications. Most people would be happy with the steering that power that this thing does come with, but on the rocks with the front end locked, it did leave me a little bit wanting a little more oomph. Now, the LEDs that it comes with are very, very cool. You can drive this thing at night if you wish to. I didn't have any breakages on this truck whatsoever. On my last run, I did experience the rear diff wasn't wanting to lock, but that's because there was a stick stuck in the little lever down here. It just had it stuck just a tiny bit open. I did go ahead and check all the servos and everything. They are all working perfectly. Nothing negative about this truck as far as durability wise. Now, as far as the plastics and everything, I have found this thing to be good. It took several hard hits, especially on this front bumper and this front little skid plate when I was out bashing it on the rocks. Couple small minor scratches, nothing to write home about. Everything is still in working order. All the LEDs work. Nothing has broken on this truck thus far. When it comes to crawling, this thing did surprise me a lot. I wish there's a little bit more weight, a little more of this weight bias was towards the front, since this is geared as like an all-purpose rig. With the selectable lockers, you know you're going to take it off-road. On steep inclines, the front does tend to kind of want to pull off and roll over backwards because the rear tends to squat because the suspension is so soft. But that suspension being soft is a good thing as far as trail running and rock crawling. This thing has a substantial amount of flex, especially for a independent vehicle. This thing has more flex than pretty much any of the actual rock crawlers that I have owned. This thing has articulation, big time. The tires worked well. They are very soft. I was a little bit concerned about rippage and everything like that, but I think as long as you leave this thing brushed and you pretty much do what this truck is designed to do, I think you will be happy at the end of the day. So that's kind of my quick over of it. It does have plastic drive shafts, but it does run full pillow ball suspension front and rear, so your camber is adjustable, your toe in and out is adjustable as well with these adjustable turnbuckles in the front and rear. You can stiffen up the suspension a little bit with these, the shocks are threaded bodied. So you can stiffen it up and adjust the ride height, make it ride higher, a little bit lower, depending on how you want to adjust your shocks. But all in all, this thing has a ton of adjustability. It's got good, solid components for what it is. And at the end of the day, I think it works. I think it works well. So we are going to move to the my thoughts part of this review. My thoughts about the Traxxas Summit are that this is one of the most amazing RCs I have ever tested. To be able to bash, then go trail running, then go rock crawling, then go right back to bashing, all on the same battery packs without having to change anything about the truck, I think is absolutely phenomenal. I think Traxxas absolutely nailed it with this truck. Is this truck my style? I would have to say no. It's not quite basher enough for my style, but it is definitely basher enough for me to have fun with. And I think this is a perfect RC to take out when, if you want to go walk like a mountain trail or anything like that. I think the Summit is probably like a best buddy. This thing will go anywhere with you. You want to go on a mountain trail, walk down a river, all of that stuff. This truck will follow you or will lead you on that trail. I think personally that this is one of the coolest RC concepts and designs that I have come across to date. I absolutely love the functionality of the Traxxas Summit. If you've seen a bunch of my reviews, I haven't been overly kind to Traxxas because I have had a lot of issues with a lot of their rigs that I have had on this channel. But I will not skimp on saying that this RC is amazing, absolutely awesome. Nothing out there comes close to the Summit for the things that the Summit is geared to. This thing is top notch. Now you can get purpose-made crawlers that will do better at rock crawling, but they won't be as trail friendly. Also, you can get trail rigs that won't do as good in the rocks or be able to bash. This thing will do all three. It will run on the rocks, it will trail run for you, and you can take this bashing. And from my experience, this thing is plenty durable to take out and do some light to mediocre bashing. Now, a lot of people suggest to put a brushless system in this. I would say no. I would say do not put a brushless system in this. You will have problems. I would just buy a Summit and keep it a Summit. I would not change one thing about this truck, even down to the tires. I would keep this truck exactly the way it sits right now and just drive it and have fun. And fun is what you will get if you decide to get a Summit. So this thing definitely gets my Killer Off-Road Hobby stamp of approval. 2 thumbs way, way up. Traxxas, you guys did very, very, very awesome designing and doing the concept and coming up with the Traxxas Summit. Nothing out there comes close to being a Summit. This thing is king of the hill for the do-it-alls and master of nones. All right, everybody, hopefully that was informative and or entertaining for you. If it was, please hit that thumbs up button. If it was not and you did not like this review, don't be shy about smashing that thumbs down. If you're new, subscribe to Killer Off-Road Hobbies. We've got a ton of cool stuff coming up, and there's just going to be plenty of new RCs coming through this channel this year. Nothing but good. All right, everybody, so that's going to be it for this review. Thank you for watching. And as always, I'm your host, Gary, saying get out there, get an RC, go have some fun, and we'll see you right back here on the next video. Hey, if you have time, please check out the description. You can get in on raffles. There are links down there to get Killer Off-Road Hobbies t-shirts, wall tapestries, towels, coffee mugs, pretty much anything. All right, everybody, till the next video. Peace out.